Bloon Tower Defense. I haven't played this game in a little bit, but I always have had fun. Obviously, I think everybody has probably played Bloon's Tower, at least one of them, when they were in school or when they were younger or something. So we're just going to go through. I didn't create these names, but we'll just use them anyway. Of all the towers for balloons. Oh, this is going to be difficult. I think we'll start off with my boy, the sniper. I think he is A tier, or for this it says great. I think just the possibility of his upgrades makes him fantastic, being able to pop metal stuff, see camo if you upgrade that as well. I think that's pretty huge, and he's not very expensive. Plus his range is the entire map, so you can put him anywhere so long as he can see. I always use him. He's my favorite for sure. I wouldn't necessarily put him OP because he does have some lesser great full upgrades, but I do think that even those are very, very good. I think he's definitely A tier for sure. Mortar. I'm just gonna have to put Mortar down here at C or meh. I think it's just kind of overall underwhelming. I don't think it has a huge impact really at any point in the game. Maybe if you have some upgrades it can make a bigger difference, but still I think overall it's just there are so many better choices to choose than Mortars. I think they're probably, I would say probably the worst or least useful in the game for sure. Let's see. Let's do Monkey Buccaneer. I think Monkey Buccaneer is B tier, and the biggest reason why I have to put him in B is mostly because not every map has water. Literally almost all of these towers can be placed minus him and the sub on every map, so I think that kind of drops him down. I think his upgrades are great. I think he can help very well when there is water and he's less expensive, but the sub I will have to put in A because I think its upgrades are so much more useful than the Monkey Buccaneer, which is obviously why he's more expensive if I remember correctly. But again though, I would have to put him at A minus B plus, mostly again because not every map has water, but every map has the ability to put the rest of the team on there. Obviously there are a map or two that's basically all water, so they would excel higher, but that's a lot less than 90% of the maps. Dart Monkey, regular old Dart Monkey, just gotta put down here. He's just too bland. His upgrades are not that bad, but I think he falls off pretty heavy compared to others. Maybe B, but I just gotta keep him down here. I mean, he's just a normal bland ass dude, so you gotta just put him down low, right? The Monkey Ace I have to put down here as well. I think he's just too inconsistent. His upgrade paths aren't that amazing to me. Some of them are obviously better than others, but I think, like, you know, if you're gonna pick a flying one, you're definitely gonna go the helicopter over the Monkey Ace. Again, that's why the helicopter is more expensive, but he's gonna be worth it compared to this. I wouldn't say that he's a waste, but as far as popability and overall help, it's just not there unless you get a whole lot of good upgrades compared to some of the others that they're going to be alright. Somewhat even without upgrades, but even more OP with them, which is why I have to go ahead and put helicopters OP. As soon as you get the ability to track with the helicopter, it's just literally sit back and let it do its work. You don't have to move it anymore. That is insane, and you can make it even crazier. The more you have, the better, to be honest. It's going to do a whole lot of damage, pop a whole lot of balloons with ease. It's definitely worth the money and worth the upgrades to do that. I say it's probably one of the best upgrade paths in the game for sure. One of them for sure are up there. I think the banana farm probably has to go as OP. Only because you gotta spend money to make money type of thing. But you do have to have kind of the right team or holdability to get these going. Obviously, the more the merrier, the better. Plus, the upgrades are all pretty solid no matter which way you go. I would have to say it's on the lower side of it, but the only reason I'm giving it S tier is just because I think they can make you rich as fuck. I think you just kind of have to build around it a little bit more than other towers, obviously. And it doesn't kill anything, so that's a huge problem. I think the monkey village can be A tier. I don't see it going to S only because I don't know, it's never really been that much more amazing. Again, I think it's more of the builds, or if you have some certain people that you want to make better in an area, that's great. But again, I think it's more of just like you're placing this unit to buff other ones and then, you know, upgrade past. But obviously it is good. It has huge benefits being a utility tower for sure. It is A tier as it should be, but definitely not S for me. I think the cannon has to be A tier as well. I think this is probably the best damaging big unit killer as far as Moabs and everything like that. Especially once you get some upgrades on it, I think it has high damage probability. Now, as far as just killing balloons per se, it's not that fast and it's not going to kill them the best. But overall, like heavy damage output per hit, that's the man for sure. And obviously, he's one of the originals and less expensive units, so he's a very, very solid pickup. I don't know why I'm saying a he when it's a fucking cannon, but Tack Shooter, I think Tack Shooter has to go to B. And the biggest reason why I have to put it in B is because I think it has to be in a certain spot to be able to get to A and S tier. I think if you just put it in a line or whatever, can it still do work, especially with upgrades? Absolutely. But when you get those little circles where you can put one or a few units in the little circle, but it can still, first of all, it can't reach for shit. So if that's the only unit that can go there, then it's great. But if there's more, then not so much. But if you get them in the little circle, especially with any upgrade path, arguably, it's gonna shred. Absolutely. I would give that probably A, if not S, for sure. The problem is, again, not every map has that, and I think it's a lot less successful if it's not placed in those spots. So for that, it's a B for me. Glue Gunner, I have to put in B as well. I think the only reason why this dude is not in C is because of the upgrade paths. I think once you upgrade him and get some stuff on him, he's very, very solid, probably at least an A tier. But I think for a starting tower, it doesn't do shit. And I think even once you can throw a couple hundred in him as far as upgrades, and he's still not really going to do anything until you kind of figure out what upgrade path you want. But overall, the only reason he is in B is because of the possibility of him being able to really destroy some bloons with some upgrade paths, but that's if you choose the right one. Otherwise, again, I'd probably put him down at C. The Ice Tower, I'm going to put in B as well. It probably deserves an A, but I think one of the biggest problems with him is that he can't reach very far. And then, I don't know, I feel like he's just, again, he's one of the towers that if you have like max upgrades, then he's great, but if you don't, then he's just kind of there. Partial help for sure, definitely not a shitty tower, but I don't know, he's more useful like mid to late game than he is in the beginning, because unless you have certain builds like a cannon or a sniper that can pop stuff, then they can't even pop the frozen balloons anyway, so he's just kind of annoying to even have on your team. But that's just my thoughts on him. Boomerang, I'm gonna have to shit on Boomerang too, man. I've just never liked the guy. I think, I don't know. His upgrades are alright, but nothing that makes him OP at all to me. And I think his just original stock tower is, even with the Boomerang, like, you're not gonna get any, if hardly any, if not any at all, like extra pops because it goes back to him. Like maybe a couple throughout the game, and that's, I mean, like less than 10 for sure. So I don't think he's that useful, and again, I don't think his upgrades are too amazing either. I'd have to put Druid in B also. I think he's just some super upgraded version of the Dart Monkey, basically. I think he can be useful with some of the upgrades. He obviously can get very, very good. But I think with overall, even with the upgrades, I don't think he's like an A tier tower. I think he's more of just kind of like he's a utility basic balloon popper to me. He's literally, like I said, just a bigger brother or better Dart Monkey, you know. I don't think he's that great. Spike Factory, I'm gonna have to give my boy Spike Factory that S tier, man. I think that thing is probably the most underrated tower. The fact that you can place it anywhere and it's forever gonna work no matter what anyway. And its upgrades can literally save you the wave, save you some deaths for sure, no matter which way you go with them. More so if you get those perma spikes and you put that fucker in the back, it's gonna take you're gonna have some very high waves for them to get through all of those for sure. I love them to death, obviously, so S tier for me for sure. The Engineer, I think Engineer just goes to B. I think maybe A, but again, the only reason why you're putting him in A is because of his upgrades. I don't think, again, I think he's basically a better version of the Dart Monkey. Having some of the upgrades and being able to do some different stuff with them is great and all, but again, I don't think it necessarily puts him in the A tier. I think he's definitely a solid B. He's not gonna like lose you rounds because he wasn't popping enough or anything, but I think overall money spent and utility and money on upgrades as well is just like there's some better towers that can probably do minimum at least as much as he's going to do for you. Oh, the Wizard. The Wizard has to go to S. Basically, because if that man gets to the, I don't even remember, the fucking Death Lord or whatever the fuck it is, where you're spawning dead balloons and the dead balloons are popping the ones coming and everything. That dude is disgusting. Other than that guy, his upgrades are solid, pretty useful, and a decent tower to begin with before you get him all the way there. But that upgrade path is an S tier path for sure. No doubt about it. Alchemist, I think Alchemist... I think Alchemist is A, and I think what put me to put him in A is because he can then the certain upgrade path that can help the other people around him. I think as a tower himself, he's alright. I think his upgrade paths are okay, but I think when he gets to the point where he is also helping other towers around him, as well as let them be successful as well with what his upgrade pass can do, I think that deserves to put him in A. Until you get upgrades though, I don't trust him as much. I would say like straight stock tower, I'd probably put him in B. But I think his upgrade paths have a whole lot more potential than a lot of these other ones, or at least quicker potential instead of like mass upgrade, somewhat like the glue gun or attack shooters or something. Ninja Monkey, I gotta put an A as well. I think an early unit that can already see camo naturally is huge. As well as I think literally no matter which upgrade path you take for the Ninja Monkey, I think it's solid. I think no matter what you do with the Ninja Monkey, he's gonna do pretty solid work for you. I think he's definitely worth it. I might even put him in S, but I think the biggest reason I don't is that he's just, even with full upgrades and everything, he doesn't really give that extra oomph, you know? Like when Wizard is fully upgraded with that dude and spawning more balloons, like that's nasty. Like perma spikes are nasty. This dude being able to just track balloons no matter where they go and you being able to affect that even further is nasty. But Ninja Monkey, even with full upgrades, just kind of never hits that next step. I think obviously no matter what, he's a solid A tier tower, but I think with all the upgrades, he never just gets that much more insanely better, to where I'm putting him in S. Now everybody is probably going to hate me, but I think the biggest reason why old boy Super Monkey is in A tier is because of the expense. I think the dude is just so expensive no matter how. I think the only way Super Monkey is super successful is if you have a banana farm situation going on, or somehow you're holding out long enough for you to get all the upgrades for him. I think that's his biggest downfall, is his expense. Do I think he's arguably the best balloon popper in the game? For sure. I think he has the most insane potential. Like, he's definitely worthy of S tier, but I think the problem of why he's not is because of how expensive all of his, just him as a tower in general is, as well as all of his upgrades no matter which path you take. Obviously, again, essentially spend money to make money. Like, he's that expensive because he is that good, absolutely, but I think you could also turn around and say, okay, I can get some other towers that, for all of this money, that can pop at least as much as him and get a better variety, possibly. But again, that's just my thought, so let me know down in the comments what you guys think, where you guys would place. Obviously, depending on the map, depending on if you're playing by yourself, with friends, and everything, some of these units can be S, some of them can be D. Partially, just kind of overall depends. But overall consistency on all maps and all upgrade paths, I would say this is about where everybody should be at. But again, let me know what